What's going on, everybody? SC here, back with your daily dose of Broodwar. We've got an epic game here for you today. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner is Larva and his opponent. Over here in the top left, his name is Rich. Showmaker is his ID. I've been watching this guy for a little while. He has been nearing the top of the ladder several times. Seen him in the top 10 over the past few weeks. Right now, I think he's sitting somewhere around top 20. But he is a very, very strong Protoss player. I have unconfirmed reports that his name is Rich. Although I wasn't able to find any more information under that ID on Wikipedia, so take that for what it is. We're going to watch this series anyway because he's very strong Protoss player and we love Larva. Happy to see him back. He hasn't been playing kind of competitively since his ASL win. Dropped out of the competitive scene. Has been doing a lot of streaming. Mostly variety, sometimes Starcraft as well. But, yeah, he just hasn't been playing seriously for quite a long time. He still is, of course, a very, very strong player. A fan favorite. An absolute legend. And it is cool to see him on an ID here. A sort of anonymous ID, so probably not played on his stream, although I haven't been watching his stream lately. Black Scissors. It's been confirmed to me from the friends at seawall.gg that this is indeed Larva, but his account has since been erased, so maybe not happy with his performance on that account, maybe not wanting players to pick up on him being back. I'm not 100% sure, but he has deleted this account now. But we did manage to snag some games from him. So, yeah, look forward to some more Larva games here in the future. So far, we've seen Larva open up pretty darn standard here. Stock standard gameplay from him so far. Showmaker. Gateway expand. Hasn't really sent out any of his zealots yet. Now going to start to move forward with the first two zealots. We'll run around those zealots, try to deal some damage to this gateway, but Showmaker, you can see he's on top of this play right now. He's got his cannon just about to finish up. He's going to be sending those zealots out on the map. Down here in the bottom right, we've got a bit of an unorthodox expansion here for Larva, but if we note his play and how it's been in the past, this is something that Larva really does like to do. Take another natural base, fill this up with buildings and sunken colonies, and then get the free fourth base. Go into a late game, a very strong late game play as quickly as possible. I don't know why I can't see what that is, but drone is gonna get sniped. Pretty good job there by Showmaker, getting right on top of that egg as it was morphing. I don't know why this is not showing. Maybe some sort of a glitch with the replay, but the surround is pretty good here from Larva. He's doing a really nice job of keeping the lings nearby and then replacing the lings that die. He didn't really pull back any of them, but he gets rid of those two zealots on the field. More lings are out here. He should be able to track down this small force of zealots and take it out. So he's gonna find it just now. We'll be able to surround and kill this force. So Larva, he has lost one drone, but he's got his Spire just about to finish here. He's gonna finish off these last few zealots. Oh, it's actually getting really close. There we go. With that one zealot going down, the DPS reduced by quite a lot, and he does pick that off. Free now to drone up as much as he wants, and that's going to be a lot. Already at 30 drones. Another drone on the way here. Expecting him to throw down a bunch of buildings here at the front, as he's already thrown down this hatchery. But if you want to try this play, guys, on the ladder with the additional base here, in this position, this is the game to look at. You'll see exactly the best way to wall this off as Zerg, because Larva is very well practiced at this type of build. Knows exactly how to get it done, how to hold off Protoss in the mid game, and that's not the position I was expecting for that evolution chamber, but I guess it does make sense. You got the Larva here on the outside. It's not going to get trapped in between these two, but it will be blocking. Actually, I think this is a tight wall right here. Wonder what he's going to put above this. It's like hatchery here with the Hydralis den and 2 creep colonies behind. Just one single hole here. I think this is also a hole. But if you grab a Larva and another unit and hit stop position, it moves over to the left. So you can move that Larva in between the 2 buildings here, and then you can build something, and that makes a complete wall. So pretty well perfect defensive play here from Larva so far. That's a lot of Corsairs, but you know, I don't really... Oh god, he built two spores here, recognizing the amount of Corsairs that are out right now. You'd really like these to be Sunkens, but since he's gone for this many Corsairs, I guess it's okay. Yeah, double Stargate. I've been focusing on Larva's play a little bit too much, and we missed the double Stargate play here from Showmaker. Gonna come in for another couple of kills here. You really only need to pull back the 1 or 2 Corsairs that's actually being hit, and you can kill more Overlords. See, leaving these 2 on very low HP, but you know, I don't really like this play from Showmaker. As it stands, he's gonna allow Larva to get into 4 bases incredibly quickly. He hardly needs any defenses. He's just got spores and a few Hydras. The Zealots here still don't have their speed. Do they have +1? Yes, they do, but of course, Templar with Storm is quite a long ways away now, and he's going for a Dark Templar. I think he's going to go for a drop. Maybe you can drop up into here, but you cannot get by this. Sunken Colonies and Spores at both bases. It's going to be very difficult to try to run by if you've got a Dark Templar out on the map. I think we're going to see an Evo chamber placed down here in a second. You want to really clog up this area here as Larva. More and more drones popping out, going up to 46. Getting into that +1 as well. Range is on the way here. Showmaker realizing that, you know, Larva's not intending to get on the offensive here for quite a while, so should be able to safely take that base. Could probably take this base as well. As long as he doesn't lose all these Zealots, he'll still have a more powerful army on the map for a little bit. More Hydras being produced. Not going up to that 60 count. I was expecting him to go to 60, 70-ish drones here on 4 bases before really switching over into full-on Hydros production, but maybe he wants to get a timing attack going where he can perhaps break the 3rd base here of Showmaker. Not 100% sure on that, but Hydras are moving around the right-hand side. DT almost getting picked off there. It's got 2 kills, but is now very, very low. He'll probably place this on the ramp. That's a really good move. Placing the DT on the ramp can bug out the Hydras quite badly. Makes it so you have to have an Overlord with your attack in order to make it happen. He's coming around the side here. Storms get thrown down. Pretty good dodges so far from Larva. And he needs to dodge a few more storms, but that was a great one. Landing about 4 or 5 kills there on these Hydras. And now the Hydra number is a little bit too small, I feel, to take this fight efficiently against these Zealots. Yeah, the Zealots are going to clean up a lot of the Hydras on the top side, but the great micro here from Larva, splitting off his Hydras and spreading them out here. He's done this absolutely perfectly, keeping a lot of these Hydras alive, and now going to be able to push forward. The reinforcements here of the Zealots, it looks like we'll be able to clear this, but Some more reinforcements from Larva gonna come up now and push everything back. Showmaker really struggling right now. He does have the high ground base. With the cannons now finished, it's gonna be hard to get through that with just pure Hydra. +2 is on the way here. Hydra's gonna try to mount this high ground. The mischance is going to be quite frustrating to deal with, but that's a lot more Hydras coming up here. We do have some storms ready to go. How much energy on this? Not quite enough to cast any storms at this moment. Oh, this could be the breaking point here for Showmaker. Great storms, though. Wow, huge storms. That killed like 8 Hydras there. And Larva gonna have to back away. Up now to 50 drones more in production. We haven't seen the Queen's Nest just yet, but that should be the next step in this play. Unfortunate 4 drones on that gas geyser, but that's fine for now. No 4th gas just yet. We should see that taken relatively soon. Extra hatcheries being thrown down here. There's that 4th gas. 4th base not ready to come up here for Showmaker. Larva making that a little bit difficult, but a flank coming through from both sides. He should be able to crush this Hydra army. Hydras are gonna all die here. Larva realizing this, he's gonna try and make it as difficult as possible for them to clean up. Running in behind the mineral patches, but it's not as good as a Zealot hiding from Lings. Zealots really do clean up Hydras very, very quickly once they can get on top of them. Now running down here. Gonna defend this next attack from Larva, and Larva, I think, realizing now it's gone a little bit too far. We're not gonna be able to break Showmaker here. We need to set up for the next stages of the game, and that's why we have the Queen's Nest on the way here. He's gonna have to start setting up sunken colonies, or excuse me, creep colonies in the front, get some spores out here just to make it hard for his opponent to push it. We'll see lurker fields at both these 2 locations. Those Corsairs coming in looking for additional kills. Not gonna find anything just yet. Hydralists have their +2 now finished. Cannot start +3 until this turns into a hive, but he hasn't started the hive yet. The Queen's Nest is done. A little bit lax on that hive timing, but that's fine. He's gonna have a nice lurker set up here for when Showmaker comes into attack, eating so much damage from these lurkers. That's brutal. Oh, and he snipes the Archon as well. Some bugging out there on the retreating Protoss army allows Larva to get some extra kills. Lurkers over here as well. We haven't seen a spore out in the front just yet. It appears that Larva wants to push forward a little bit deeper. Maybe gonna go ahead and snag this base next. It's really either this base, or we're gonna take this base next as Larva, but he does need to get a 5th base going here relatively soon, as his opponent is now on 4 bases himself. You do not want to stay on even bases with the Protoss player for long. Probe heading up to the top right. Showmaker has an idea of where he wants to go with this game. Taking the upper right quadrant of the map is going to be the next step here for Showmaker in this. Can he hold that location? Will Larva spot this? It's very important that he does soon, because once there's like 6 cannons up here, maybe a gateway, maybe a robo as well, that becomes very hard because the Templars start to pop out there. Makes it way more difficult to try and breach that location. Hydra's coming up here from behind, dealing a little damage. Some small skirmishes on either side of the map. Mostly going in Larva's favor, but this is still a major issue here. Showmaker starting up these cannons, and when they finish, it's going to become much harder to break through. We do not have a Defiler's mound on the way just yet. Needs to get that down here relatively soon. Otherwise, these cannoned up bases will become incredibly hard to break. Going for it, that Observer with the Observer speed now finished, able to kite away and keep itself alive. Crackling upgrade is about to finish up here. Crackling's being mixed into this army, mostly a Dragoon army, losing a lot of Dragoons here. Does cast a pretty good storm, and the Zealots coming up to assist. However, more Hydra coming up from the left-hand side. They do back away, though. And it appears that both players ready to disengage here. Backing off from the battlefield. Larva will be able to secure this 5th base, but this is bad right now for Larva. He cannot really allow this to happen. See, there's the gateways coming up. Let's start pumping Templar off these. Once you got 2 or 3 Templar up here, my god, this ramp is hard to break. We don't have drop or anything like that either from Larva, and here comes an attack. Larva needs to mobilize his forces here on the left side. We haven't seen them move just yet. Lurkers being set down here. The Zealot numbers are starting to thin out, and it looks like Showmaker not willing to press forward any further. Will be backing away now. But these are the moments, these are the important times when Showmaker is trying to make a bust like this happen. Coming around behind here and cutting off the retreat is huge. That's the way that you can actually decisively win a battle as the Zerg player. If you don't manage to do that, you can always pull away here as the Protoss and maintain that large Dragoon army with which to push in again in the future. If you take out all these Dragoons, it makes it so much harder to push into any of these entrenched Zerg positions. But for now, still has that large army. Drop play is now coming in. I'm still not sure if this has been spotted here yet. Look, we've got more cannons coming up. Showmaker knows that as long as he holds these bases up here, he can win this in a long, drawn-out game. Gonna feel confident to take this game as long as he holds on to half the map. Storm's getting thrown down here. Another bust attempt from Showmaker, but the Lurker's running right up on top of this, trying to deal the damage, but there's nothing blocking from the north side to help finish off this army. Looks like a lot of the Dragoons will go down, but a good chunk of them still do manage to retreat. Pretty good play there from Larva. Can he turn it into a larger victory, though? He will be able to force a cancel on this base, and there are no Templar up here. A big mistake by Showmaker. He should have Templar waiting at this high ground, and we may see Larva just not attack into that simply because he would imagine there should be Templar up there. Reaver's gonna start being built here as well. And once you got Reaver and Templar up here, it's gonna be so easy to break, but it's currently breakable. This location, Lurkers being left out to dry here, will be stormed and dragooned to death. Hydras will have to retreat across the map. We have the drop play finishing up here. There's Corsairs ready to defend on this left-hand side. That may be the target, though, for Larva's drops. This is all the production of the Protoss player. If he loses this base, it's going to be very hard to rebuild. He can build more gateways up here and sustain himself. Maybe go into, like, mass Reaver. That can be a viable option, but you really don't want to lose all this production here as the Protoss. The base going down here at the 6 o'clock. Larva has maintained both of these sides. These high grounds here are incredibly important to his overall defense. Showmaker not wanting to contest either of those two locations anymore, moving through the middle of the map instead, looking for possible trades around the map. We've got +1/+1 finished for the Lynx, but 2/2, and the shield upgrade is finished as well for Showmaker. So his army with a 3 upgrade advantage will be mopping up those Lynx pretty quick, but that will slowly start to close here as time goes on. We're going to be getting more upgrades finishing up here soon. +3 is done for the Hydras as well. So that's a big moment. That's a big key factor here. There's the speed shuttle looking for an opportunity to storm drop. Scourge are just a little bit too slow to stop that, but they do eventually pick that off. Some kills go down there on the drones, but not crippling damage as of yet. Coming in here with another large Hydralisk attack, but easily mopped up by the forces of Showmaker. Drop coming through over here into the top right. I don't know if this can do much. It's being tracked down here by Showmaker, though he's not bringing his Corsairs to come and help out. Drop here in the main. Great storms there to shut that down. Another great storm here on the right-hand side. This is not enough cannons to finish this up. There's that Reaver that was made here in the main. Meanwhile, an attack here onto the mineral high ground. Great storms there, going to finish off the majority of these lurkers, and the army here of Showmaker cutting off reinforcements to this position. Great job by Showmaker splitting off his army appropriately here in order to clean up both different drop and attack at the same time. Still a little surprised that we didn't see Larva go for the main base in this situation. He's trying to make some lurkers up here. That's not going to work. And Showmaker still has the larger army. We are at nearly maxed out supply. First couple of plagues are going to go down. That is one way that the Zerg player can start to gain some value here in this matchup. Base over here in the center left. Still, this is less than half the map for Larva. If he holds this, he holds just barely half the map. And that's still not good enough to win in a long game versus Protoss. You're going to have to take this base as well. And you're going to have to prevent this base from going down here. And that only then really can you overwhelm in the very late game. And that's still not a sure thing. He's got himself in quite a pickle here, allowing Showmaker to take the top right and not shutting that down. Now coming forward to deal with some of these Archons. However, units coming from the left-hand side are going to clean this up. Trying to focus down on Archon if he can. He gets an Observer, but it looks like that's all he'll get here with these few remaining units. Let's take a look at the minerals now. Almost mined out here in the bottom right. Nearly mined out here as well. 6 o'clock is a healthy base. Center left is a healthy base. These mineral only expands still have a good number of minerals on them. Top right here for Showmaker, still healthy. Still healthy here as well. Looks like not too bad at the 12 o'clock either. More plagues going down here. Middle of the map, softening up this Protoss army. But Showmaker, with an impressive force here on the map, needs to add on more Archons though. 3 more coming out here to the battlefield. Some Reavers joining the fray as well. 2 Reavers here in the top right. That base is nearly unbeatable. And at this point, you really have to think as Larva, well, I'm just never going to get in here and actually kill this base. He was actually killing one of his own probes to free up supply. That's kind of funny. What did he start? Oh, looks like some Templar and a shuttle. Big fight here in the middle. Some storms go down. Both players disengage immediately, though. It's like Larva eating some storm. Gonna back away for now. Adding on the gas at this base. Hasn't taken this gas just yet. That will be important a little bit later on. Base over here at the center right, trying to be taken by Showmaker, will be shut down by this Hydralisk clump. It's like Larva gonna try to cut off this army, prevent it from stopping the base take here at the center right. Nice job with the plague. Reavers being brought forward are gonna get some insane value here. Getting big shots on these Hydralisks. Still able to hold on to this side, and he may be able to take this center right now. We haven't seen any storm drops for a hot minute. But we do have that shuttle finally popping out here. More Archons in the middle of the map. This is becoming one of those situations where now we're going to have to switch back into mass Hydra. Lings are not going to be as powerful against this sort of style. Great Plague there, getting some of these units, plus the Reaver as well. Big reduction here in the number of Archons that have hit the field. Still a ton of gas is available, though, for Showmaker. He should be able to produce a lot of Reaver Archon here going forward. These Reavers getting their shots off. Dealing a lot of damage here to these Hydras. We haven't seen him take the Reaver damage upgrade just yet, but we may yet see that in the future. More and more Hydras making their way up the map. Still plenty of money here for Showmaker. He's trying to get some units out to defend against this. But this area here, not the biggest, most impactful at the moment. Just pure Hydralisk popping out of Larva at the moment. Some Lurkers being pulled up as well. Could start to bring these away because, you know, we're going to run out of minerals here anyway. Need to defend some more important areas. You can see he's pulled this back already. Going to start to send that forward. Defense will be from the high ground here by Showmaker. Great storm there, preempting those Hydralisks running forward. Lurkers are going to burrow in the midst of all of this, and I think a lot of this Protoss is going to die. Great storms there on the bottom clump of a Hydra, but the Lurker number, as it's being cleared up, Hydras are getting their damage in. And a lot of these Reavers and Archons have gone down. There's the last Reaver falling, and the last Archon goes as well. But all the Hydras have been cleaned up. This is the problem, you see, with late game Protoss versus Zerg. You can take these big fights over and over and over again, but the Protoss, constantly with a smaller and a more powerful army, able to hold off, keep themselves alive. Another great storm there. More and more value out of these units for Protoss. Hydra en masse making its way up this side of the map. Great storms there as well. Shoving all of this back now, though, is Larva. Getting on top of these finishing cannons. Looks like they will not be able to warp in here. Some Dragoons, funnily enough, being mixed back in because the Hydra number has been so high. We haven't seen that many Lings, but now Lings are actually being funneled forward. It looks like Larva has changed all his rally points across the map here. He just wants to kill this main base. That is his main goal at this moment. He needs to get in here and finish this off. Larva shoving forward. Look at all the blue streaming across the map here. His supply is actually ahead of Showmakers at this point. The shots from the Reaver are going to make a world of difference right now. Every shot is going to be critical at this moment to keep the Hydralisks back. The Zealots are having a difficult time getting out of the base right now. They will eventually get out here and start to fight these Hydras. But the Reaver not really doing its job anymore, sitting here in the back. Zealots going to work on all of these Ling Hydra. Will have to be pulled back now as the reinforcements arrive. It's like a shuttle came through, maybe got a few kills. Yeah, 12 kill Archon. Looks like he did get a big storm here on the center right, but a ton of drones being sent over that location now. Still 63 drones left over for Larva, so not that much damage coming through with that storm drop. And Larva just going to continuously push forward here. He's got more Reavers now. Still trying to make some Scarabs here. This is crazy, guys. I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Larva just endlessly rallying forward here. He's gonna go in with just a few last units. This is not the sort of hit squad that you would expect to break the Protoss main, but those last few Hydras, because the Reavers were running low on Scarabs and we didn't have enough Storms, actually managed to break this position. And here we go, more Lings filing their way in. Gonna overwhelm this spot here and take over the main base, but just barely. As Showmaker shoved back here onto high ground. He can mount a defense from this location, but he's so low on units right now. He's only got a few Zealots. He's gonna lose this Templar to his own Storm. Great Storm there on the ramp, killing so many Lings and Hydras. Another great Storm there as well. More Templar coming up here. He needs to make some Archons as well. Hanging on to this spot is of utmost importance. He cannot be losing, oh my God, those Storms. He cannot be losing his production facilities at this point. Good Plague there, gonna soften these Zealots up, and they will die incredibly fast to the Cracklings. But GG is called. Are you kidding me? Showmaker taps out after all of that. The defense, the valiant defense of the Protoss main, he gives up. And Larva takes game number 1. Oh my God. I thought for sure he was going to build some more gateways over here. You know, get a Reaver army and try to move out and take this. This is the last base on the map, boys. That's it. What do we have left for his mineral patches? Practically nothing on this side. Okay, we've got more than 1,000 on each of these. Yeah, this is still yeah, it's yeah, I guess so. This is still quite a bit of minerals as well. This is a hard game, a very hard game, but it sucks to see Showmaker tap out like that. Anyway, guys, we're gonna jump into game number 2. Don't go away. All right, moving right along here. We've got Larva in the top center. Rich in the bottom left. Showmaker, aka Showmaker. That's his name on ladder. Went down in that first game, but looking to make a comeback. These guys played back-to-back games on the ladder. We'll see if he can get his revenge here on Neo Sylphid. A very different map from that last game. Polypoid, so standard, so normal, that 4-player map. Not going to be easy for Larva to take the natural and get that 3rd base, but I'd like to see him try, honestly. That would be cool. If he can make that happen on this map as well, I would be intrigued, to say the least. There are a lot of high ground bases around. There's one over here. So you know what? I will bring it up for you guys so you don't have to look at a black screen. There's one right here. The ramp there. There's one over here, of course. And one over here as well. And there's some random bases around the map. These bases have a lot less minerals and gas at them. Just 1,000 minerals, 1,500 gas. Whereas these high ground bases have 1,500 minerals and 5,000 gas. These also have 1,500 minerals. So these bases much more valuable than these center bases, but these center bases still do play a role. Now, I don't know if this will factor into the play here from Larva, what he's actually going to end up doing, but it feels like it could be strong. You know, if you take this base here, you get this base. Yeah, sure, it doesn't, you know, maybe the Protoss can grab these bases out here and they can get this one and this one, but it's going to be hard to get these bases on this side of the map. And this will probably end up going to Larva eventually. You know what? I don't know. I'm going to withhold judgment on that one. We've got a Zealot heading into the main base here. And actually, Larva going to take this one over here. He's going to take the mineral-only expansion instead. I was not expecting that. Feels like this one's so much easier to defend. With that high ground, with that ramp. But hey, what do I know? Zealot here hanging out over top of the minerals. This is such a nice little spot for that Zealot to hide. can't really go ahead and mine here right now because you got to keep the probe out of the main as well. Quite a few lings over on this side of the map. Be dealing a little damage to this gateway. He'd love to slip a few lings by. Hasn't been given the opportunity just yet. Showmaker doing a great job holding this off, and he is actually going to finish off that cannon just in time. He pushes the Overlord away, and the lings have to retreat. Very, very well done here by Mr. Showmaker, coming in for some damage on this drone. Not going to get a kill here, but the drone does have to retreat to the main. A bit frustrating for Larva, who really wants to get rid of this Zealot, and actually brought the drone back. Oh, I don't like that. This drone just 2 hits away right now. Definitely a good target for the Zealot. Actually 1 hit away, now 2 hits away. But yeah, you gotta be a little bit frightened here as Larva. Quite a few Zealots out on the map right now. He's built quite a bit of lings, and he's actually going straight in for his Hydraless speed, but the probe manages to make its way in the main, and that's a huge scout. A huge scout. Looks like he canceled something here. Did he cancel a Hydra? He may have canceled a Hydra, opting instead to make some more drones. Okay, 4 Hydras now popping out. Probably wasn't a Hydra that was canceled, but some frustration here from Larva. You can feel it right now. You know, things really haven't gone his way. He's been harassed by the Zealot quite a bit. The attack here at the front did nothing. And now that probe managed to make its way in and reveal the entire strategy here for Larva. So he's in a bit of trouble right now. He's going to go ahead and take care of this Zealot. Gets rid of that now finally with the Hydra. We'll come across the map now with the range finishing up. A couple of cannons are going to do the same here at the natural of Showmaker, and he's probably just going to go for the wall here if I had to guess. And yeah, we do see hatcheries going up, extra macro hatches being placed, and no more Hydras on the way here at 35 of 35 supply block. That's frustrating. Not able to make anything, and he's got 3 Larva here. That, as a Zerg player, that hurts my eyes. 3 Larva here as well. Ouch. Ouch. This is not going well, boys. Larva is having a very hard time. Maybe some of that rust on his play is what we're witnessing right now. +1 is not even on the way here for our Protoss player. Did he make some more forges in the main? No, he's just going to forego that for now. That's a little bit surprising. We've got an Evo chamber on the way. So Evo chamber, I mean, this is going to finish up before any forges do. You may be able to get an upgrade advantage. If you go for armor here, and you know that your armor is going to finish before the Protoss attack, that can be very advantageous for you. You could end up taking a big win off of that. Gonna kill off this forge. I don't see... Okay, I see attack on the way. That's still fine. Attack is still good. But, you know, there's no way of knowing, or of him knowing that there's no forge here in the main. He could have thrown down a forge immediately upon that. Seeing that Hydra busting coming, he's got one now. Might even go double forge after this because he is so far behind on his upgrades, but we haven't seen that just yet. I'll have to wait and find out whether he's going to do that here in the long run. May just stick on 1 forge, but that is ceding a lot of value over to Larva here. Gonna allow him to potentially take some big fights and win some fights he shouldn't be able to win in a normal game where the Protoss player has upgrade advantage. But I digress. We've got a DT here on the map. I almost said Defiler. There he is. He's gonna defile this mineral line if he gets the chance. Absolutely disgusting what some of these players are able to do with the DTs. Gonna try to slip in here at an opportune moment. Some Zealot's gonna come out. That's probably gonna create that opportunity that he's looking for in order to come in and deal some damage. One of these Overlords going to go down, but we do have a secondary Overlord here for the defense. Oh, Corsair. Corsair does manage to stay alive. Looks like DT's on base duty, making sure that no further bases go down, at least for now. Lurker upgrade on the way here. I didn't even see the layer finish up, actually, but we do have that done, and Lurker's on the way. Of course, the Overlord speed, a very important ability when your opponent is sending out DTs on the map. Showmaker, not ready to engage just yet. He still doesn't have +1. These Lings are going to be able to take a lot of damage from those Zealots taking 3 hits to kill, so having them in the front is a bit of a problem. Only 3 cannons here. The Storm just finished up. It looks like he's got about 3-4 Storms, maybe. He's going to have to cast them really sparingly here, though. Zealots are eating a lot of this damage. Still quite a few of them. Dragoons are out now, too, and it looks like he won't be able to get that kill. Thought I saw, and no, there's the Corsair there. I thought I saw a white blob going into the main, but it's like it was a nothing burger there. 4th base is on the way here. Larva is sending over some of his Hydras. Should be able to pick this off. This DT has no kills. It is going to get trapped and killed. Nicely done. 4th base on the way here. Very important for Larva to get this going pretty soon, because he... Oh! Yeah, he doesn't have Hive Tech on the way. Instead, he's getting a Spire, and he's gonna go mass Muta. 8 Mutas are about to pop out, and I don't think... Yeah, Showmaker's not gonna see it. He has no idea about this play. He's making 8 Goons, which is good, of course, against Muta, but the real problem here is not the Mutas. It's the mass Hydra that's on the field, and with the Mutas coming in, he can snipe all of these Templar, and then the Goon, this huge Goon force, it really looks scary when you've got a bunch of Storms backing it up. It's not going to look very scary anymore. Once the Templar are gone, the Hydras will be able to take it down easily. Oh, man. 2 Templar go down already, and most of the Storms have been spent. And I think this massive Hydra army may, in fact, be able to take on this force. That's a lot of Goons, but... yeah, Mass Hydra does very, very well against that, especially with that upgrade already finished. We've only got +1 here for our Goons, and no +2 on the way either. Oh my god, we're gonna have an upgrade advantage here for Larva coming in soon. Really slacking on these upgrades here. Showmaker loses that Corsair finally. So many Hydras are out on the map here. We've got a couple of Templars in this force, but definitely not enough. And with the dive forward, he could just go straight onto these Templar, draw some fire from the Dragoons, you know, draw out some Storms, and then take the engagement here. It could be a great win for Larva. Spreading out. He's going to go for one of the Storms. He gets some. Gets that Templar. Big move there from Larva. His force is gigantic. So many Hydras. He's going to come down. I think he crushes this, actually. We don't have any Storms here just yet. Once they get on top of this, he's going to deal very, very good damage. Oh my god, that was a great Storm. Another good Storm there. Another good Storm on the left, but that's all the Storm. All the Storm is gone. Hydras here making the huge surround. Gonna cut off this force as well. Beautifully done here by Larva. That was not just that battle. That was a bunch of different steps that went properly for Larva in a row, and now he's able to get that engagement, that clean engagement, where there's just not enough Storms to deal that damage. Oh my god, that was a great Storm, though. It's like a few more Hydras making their way up here from the south side. Oh, great Storm there as well by Showmaker, but he just barely gonna push through. It's very, very close. Here's one more Storm. Makes an Archon. Hydras pouring forward here across the map. These Hydras doing a lot of damage for free on these Zealots as they run by. Hydras being micro back here as more and more file forward. GG! Showmaker taps out, and Larva takes a quick 2-0 victory over his opponent. All right, it's awesome to see Larva back in action. Able to take down Showmaker. First in game number 1 with that classic Larva style, taking the natural base as his third and just tanking that up, just making that into a fortress where the Protoss is not able to advance in and shut that down, and taking over the whole map with the hive tech. I really thought that Showmaker was in a decent position when he got the upper right, but Larva, endless streams of units in both games. Overwhelming, truly, the swarm here. The manifestation of the swarm, playing Zerg the way it was meant to be played. Well done, Larva. And that is it for this series, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.